Hey ladies, I've got another from the vault tutorial to share with you guys today. I found an SD card. If you've been following my channel, you kind of know. It had a lot of edited, unedited, raw, already logoed images and videos and all sorts of nail art. It went missing and it finally surfaced, and this particular look is from last fall, and it was a black ruffle. I think I called it the black sparkly ruffle or something like that on the blog. I'll link it down below. But it was just kind of a fun free-handed sparkly look that I really enjoyed. And I had a picture tutorial up on the blog, but it's not the same as a video tutorial. So let's get into this. I used a black gloss polish at the time. I don't know what it was. If I had to guess, I would say it's probably Revlon Black Lingerie, I think it's called, or something like, or maybe I don't know. I've got a few of them, like, or maybe it's liquid vinyl. I don't know. Anyways, a glossy black polish, 2 coats on all nails, and then I use my matte coat, and near the cuticle line, you're going to have to get it on there, so don't worry, you're cleaning up anyways. But I kind of just loaded up my brush for my matte polish and made kind of wavy marks to create that kind of wavy effect. And if you wanted to, yes, you could use the crafty shears and tape and stuff, but I kind of like freehanding stuff, so for me, this was how I want to do it. If you're more OCD than I am, go for the tape method. It'll work just as well. Sorry I'm about the focus there, but so you're creating the matte finish against over the gloss. So that's step one. And then step two, underneath at the bottom of the nail, if your nails are long enough, I used a nice and bright silver. I don't know what I use, but any silver polish will do, or honestly do it with your own color combination. There's piles of options out there. And you're doing the same thing in the bottom. So it's kind of creating a sandwich, if you will. So it's going to go matte, gloss section, and then silver section. And it's just kind of creating like that ruffle effect. It's gonna, like loose little waves on there. Nothing that has to be perfect or by any means. It doesn't have to be identical on every nail. But it's just kind of just pretty ruffles. And I like the play with the sparkle, like the heavy sparkles versus the gloss versus the matte. And yeah, just if anything, if I could recommend anything to you, it would be one, start small. Like, see how I'm just doing a little bit, like, and it looks like there's a big gap there. It's because that's not what it looks like when it's finished, but I'm doing like a bottom kind of layer, if you will, to just kind of get my hand in the, I guess, not in the practice of making those motions, but it's easier to add more than it is to take it off, if that makes sense, when you're doing your nail art. And that applies to cooking and like a million other things out there too, but just keep that in mind. It's easier to add a little bit more polish to your look than to take away, because you don't want to have to start from scratch. So build it up slowly if you're worried about it. That's what I would recommend. And two, when you're doing the matte part on your cuticles in the upper part of your nail, it pretty much, unless you tape everything off, it's going to get on your skin. So don't worry about it. Grab some Q-tips later on and clean it up real quick, and it'll be fine. But you can see how it's getting built up a little bit more. Again, I apologize about my old recording setup. I know it's not the best, but hang in there with me. It's a pretty look, and it's sparkly and it's pretty, and it's something you could wear in, I think, multiple situations or occasions, if depending on what kind of environment you work in or anything like that. But you can see here, this is a perfect example. I kind of just pulled my silver ruffle layer up a little bit further, so it's a little bit higher up on my nail, and I'm going to do it again here in this nail. And I liked doing it this way instead of keeping my hands flat on the table, but you can see I just moved it up, just, I don't know, probably a few millimeters on that last stroke, and it makes a big difference, but you don't want to start off too big. So yeah, it's a pretty cool look, I think. I'd be curious to hear what you guys think, and if you've tried to look like this or you're into the ruffle look. I know it's definitely still around. I mean, like I said, I did this almost a year ago, so this particular look you've seen on my blog before, but if you've tried it or never done it before, I'd love to see your take on it. Once everything is dry, use a clear top coat and only go on the gloss and the silver part. Don't obviously put your top coat on the matte because that's counterproductive to a matte finish. And what's also great about adding the top coat here is if you didn't really like the finish that or the ruffle that you had in the matte part of it, you could, I don't want to say fix it here, but you could definitely tweak it here. So keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can just keep playing with it, and you could go back and add matte over it, I suppose, if you wanted, but, you know, don't overcomplicate it. So here's what it looks like finished, and it will last a little bit longer, at least from my point of view, because you can put the top coat on the tips, which are the part that chip most anyways. So I would not recommend putting the matte on the tips and the silver at the cuticle, if that makes space. If that makes sense to you. This will keep your look lasting longer and on your nails, you know, at least a little bit longer than having it the other way around. Anyways, I hope that makes sense. And I hope you guys like this look. And thanks so much for watching my it's not vintage recording, my old recording of it. And share your looks with me on Twitter and Facebook and in the comment section down below.